Welcome to the Diary of the 1%, a podcast for those who refuse to settle for the ordinary and are determined to create a life of excellence. If you have ever wondered what set the top achievers apart from the rest, you are in the right place. I am your host, Rachel Wilson. This is episode 5 of the podcast, and the title is Money, the Tool, Not the Trophy. Unlocking relevance and excellence through a mindset shift about money. Growing up in a small town, Isoma had always heard one consistent message: make money and everything else will follow. It was on the lips of all our teachers, whispered in church gatherings, and chanted by our peers as they mapped out their dreams. So she joined the rat race. First class degree, high-paying job, designer clothes, luxury vacation, and for a while, she looked like the dream everyone envied. But deep down, Isoma felt hollow. The more she earned, the more she spent. The more she accumulated, the more her relevance seems to deepen solely on her possession. One day, during a mentorship session with an older wealthy woman known for her impact and influence, Isoma asked a question that changed her life forever. How did you become so relevant in your industry and in your society at large? The woman smiled and said, because I stopped making money my goal, I made it my tool. That one line led Isoma on a journey of transformation, a journey every aspiring top 1% achiever must embrace. The real power of the top 1% is influence, not income. The top 1% achievers are not necessarily the richest. They are the most influential, impactful, and purpose-driven. Money is part of their toolkit, but never their entire blueprint. When money becomes the goal, it blinds us to value creation. You chase contracts for the cash, not because they align with your purpose. You accept jobs for the paycheck, not the growth. You post on social media for the likes, not the transformation. In contrast, when money becomes a tool, you see it as a servant, not a master. You invest in your growth. You sponsor projects that shape culture. You empower others. You build systems that live beyond you. The woman Isoma met had used her wealth to build an academy for young girls, sponsor tech innovations, and create business ecosystems. She became a hub of relevance, not because she had the most money, but because she used it strategically to solve meaningful problems. Money as a tool unlocks strategic thinking. A goal is something you chase. A tool is something you wield. When you see money as a goal, your thinking becomes short-term. How can I make more money with this month? But when you see money as a tool, your thinking becomes strategic. How can I use what I have now to multiply value in the next 5 years? You begin to think in years. You begin to think in decades. You begin to think in centuries. Relevance in your industry demands strategy. The ability to plan long term, adapt to changes, and create meaningful impact. It means knowing when to invest in profit into capacity development, when to bootstrap your startup, when to delay gratification in order to scale, and when to fund opportunity that sets you apart. Isoma learned this when she started her consultancy. Instead of buying a luxury car with her first big check, she reinvested it into hiring a top-notch branding expert and enrolling in an executive leadership program. The result, within 2 years, she was invited to speak at global conferences. Her clientele multiplied and her brand became a household name in her industry. When you see money as a tool and not the goal, it shifts you from scarcity to abundance. When money is your goal, you often operate from a mindset of scarcity. You hoard it, you fear giving, you struggle to collaborate because you think there's not enough to go around. But the top 1% operate from abundance. They know that wealth multiplies in community, not in silos. Using money as a tool means you are more likely to give, invest, and empower others. You are open to partnership, mentoring, and lifting others, and in doing so, you also rise. Isoma began to fund mini scholarship for aspiring female entrepreneurs in the city. She held workshops, shared knowledge freely, and created platform for others to shine. Her generosity made her indispensable. People don't forget those who helped them rise. Relevance is preserved in service, not in stand-up. Tools need wisdom, becoming a master builder. Imagine giving a chainsaw to a child. It's powerful, but without wisdom, it becomes destructive. Likewise, money is only effective in the hands of a wise and purposeful individual. When you treat money as a tool, you are more intentional about personal development. You read more. You learn the language of systems, influence, and innovation. You grow your emotional intelligence and expand your capacity. All of these are requirements for staying relevant in the society. If someone inspired by a mentor, made it a rule to set aside a percentage of every income for knowledge acquisition, not just book, but courses, travel exposure, coaches, anything that shaped her worldview. She did not just want money, she wanted the wisdom to deploy it well. The truth is, money tends towards those who have wisdom to deploy it. Money tends towards those who are good stewards and good managers. The fifth one I've been mentioning is fulfillment over flash, legacy thinking. This is the one thing you get when you begin to handle money as a tool and not a goal. The truth is, money is a poor master. It never says enough. But when it comes to a tool, you start to think legacy. At this junction, you are no longer asking, what can I buy? But your question is, what can I build that lasts? That is the secret of relevance. Isoma's final transformation came when she stopped building for the ground and started building for generations. She structured her company to be scalable, trained others to take over, and focused on solving long-term problems in education and entrepreneurship. Her name outlived her presence. She has stepped into the 1%. This is my conclusion. Choose the right blueprint, knowing fully well that money is not the goal, neither is it the trophy. Handle money like a tool. If your goal is to be among the top 1%, not just in earning, but in impact, relevance, and transformation, you must change your blueprint. Don't chase money, use it. I want to say it again. If your goal is to be among the top 1%, not just in earning, but in impact, relevance, and transformation, you must change your blueprint. Don't chase money, use it. Use it to build people. Use it to scale vision. Use it to shape narrative. Use it to buy back your time. Use it to position yourself globally. Use it to change life. Be like Isoma. Let money work for you while you work on what truly matters. Because in the end, the most valuable people are not those who made the most money. They are the ones who made the most meaning. Thank you. See you in the next episode.